So, welcome everyone to the Spring 2021 Bridges Fellowship Symposium. We're really excited to have you here to celebrate the work of our Spring 2021 cohort, they have put in so much work throughout this semester, and we're going to go through a couple of slides before we dive into the films and presentations. But we're really excited to have you here. Please utilize the chat. It's a great feature. If this is your first time to BlueJeans, we'll have a couple of a little bit more information about how to use it. But thank you for joining us. Next slide. So yes, welcome. As people continue to join, we wanted to do a couple of introductions around our Youth and Emerging Media Makers team. So first up, we have Dawn.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm super happy to be here. Congratulations to all of the Bridges participants. I'm excited to see your work. I'm Dawn Valadez. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I'm the director of the Youth and Emerging Media Maker programs at BAVC. Passing it on to
Dawn, and appreciate it. So I'm Jay Gash. I use she, her, they, them pronouns. And I've had the pleasure as the Associate Director of Youth and Emerging Media Maker Programs and now creative producer of our soon-to-be launching BAVC Youth Productions team. I've had the pleasure to work with our Bridges Fellows throughout the semester, and they've been in such great hands with our instructors for the past 14 weeks. And I will pass it along to Faye.
Thank you, Jay. Hi, everybody. My name is Faye Terry. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Youth Programs Coordinator here at BAVC. And I don't understand how it's the end of the semester, what happened. This semester's been a really interesting one for me because I spent your first week of the fellowship with you all, and then I was very much behind the scenes up until the end, which is actually really exciting for me because I get to see your final projects with super fresh eyes and a very crystal clear vision of where you all started. And I'm incredibly proud of you all for making it to the end. Crazy. And also for the community that you all have nurtured amongst yourselves. That's something we strive to achieve every semester, but it's entirely in your hands. And you've done it, so thank you all. This is the time when we would pass it off to Carolina, to introduce herself. She unfortunately cannot be with us until 6. She'll pop in then, but she joined our youth programs team this semester as our youth engagement specialist and has done an incredible job both inside and outside of the classroom as kind of this thread that ties the program together. We're very grateful for her, and we'll remind her of that when she gets here. Allie, you can pop on to the next one. Our agenda for the evening. So welcome and program rewind are underway. We're going to spend just a few minutes going over what the fellowship is all about and how this past semester shaped out. Then we're going to get right into showcasing the incredible work of our fellows and hearing a bit from each of them about their experience in the fellowship. We'll share some quick announcements, say our thank yous, very important, and then wrap up by 7. Next slide, Allie. All right, so our virtual event best practices come as second nature to us by now. Same as always, please mute your microphones. If anything happens, we can also mute you on our end. So if you get muted, it's us, sorry. We're going to use the chat function. We're going to keep it alive. You'll see that on your right-hand side of your screen. If you hover over the right side, you'll see a chat option. The descriptions of student films are going to be put in the chat. If you have comments, questions, feedback, affirmations, anything that you want to share with the group or with our fellows who are presenting, throw that in the chat. You can also use this very charming emoji reactions button either in the chat or on the left-hand side of your screen. You'll see an option to raise your hand. If you go to that, there'll be some other hidden gems in there that you can click on. Another best practice, be mindful of your airtime. Do your best to make sure you're not hearing your own voice more than anyone else's. This is very much a time and a space to celebrate our fellows and give them the floor. We do, of course, always appreciate words of encouragement and feedback, so don't hold back in the chat. Most importantly, as with all the events we have at BAVC that we've had together virtually over this past year, have grace with yourselves and others. Roll with it. If tech stuff gets a little shoddy, BlueJeans is a new platform for a lot of us here, so cut yourself and everyone else some slack if you have moments where you can't find the function you need, or we're fiddling around on the wrong slide. Grace all around. You can also direct message me in the chat if you're having any issues with BlueJeans. And a little bit more about BlueJeans. Nice, Allie. BlueJeans, it's like a cousin of Zoom that sounds better and looks better. Things look a little bit different, but it shares almost all the same features. So you'll notice that chat option that we talked about. You'll have the option of chatting with the entire group or sending direct messages to just one person. So that's something unique to BlueJeans. I'll be keeping an eye on that chat throughout the whole evening. What else about BlueJeans? Reactions, yeah, pretty much everything else is like Zoom and self-explanatory. And you can always send me a message if you're having some trouble with it. And next slide, I'm going to pass it back over to Jay, who's just going to, or Dawn, I think, to share a little bit more about BAVC.
Hi, thanks, Faye. Yes, I'm really happy that to share with you, for those of you who don't know, that the Bay Area Video Coalition is a 45-year-old storytelling, actually I would say 45-year young organization that started with a group of people who wanted to democratize video making and putting in the hands of people to make videos, and that's where we began. And since then, we've grown and changed. We have programs for adults. We just launched a new learning system, so please go and check that out if you're, an adult, and or over 18. Any of you probably on this call, there's a lot of great classes we have. We also have a state-of-the-art preservation program, which helps filmmakers and people who have large collections of videotape preserve their work. And recently, our preservation team worked with the amazing team of Crip Camp, which had an Oscar nomination for their archival video footage. So please check that out. We also run the San Francisco Commons, which is the cable access network, and it's one of the places we get to showcase films that get made in our Next Gen and Bridges programs. So please check that out as well. And we also provide opportunities for media makers and filmmakers. We do artist support programs and a lot of different really cool projects are happening there. And we just recently launched a program called the Serial Storytellers, which is for new writers of series and docu-series, and that will be an annual program that we are doing. So we're always constantly changing and growing. Please share your ideas about what you think and what you want from BAVC, and we are here. We're your home for media making and storytelling. And I pass it back to you, Jay.
Awesome. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Faye. So a little bit about the Bridges Fellowship. We took on a new masterclass model. So as opposed to just having one instructor for the full semester, we actually had 4 different instructors who are teaching each component of filmmaking. You'll get an opportunity to hear a little bit from our instructors in just a few minutes. Within the 14 weeks, we had a virtual technical class on video production, and each student, after going through the program now, this is our culminating day, will receive a producer editor certificate for the work that they've done and the skills that they developed while they were with us at BAVC. They also were able to have some career coaching, individual and group, as well as some workshops that they were able to attend. So they learned about resume writing, networking, as well as interviewing techniques, so that they can really thrive in the media industry and find jobs and set goals for themselves throughout the semester. In addition to the technical know-how, career workshop development, experience, there was also a lot of community building. That is kind of the foundation of our programming overall. We want to create safe and supportive environments for those who are in our programs, in our classes, because that is what helps nurture the next generation of media makers. We had life life map activities, check-ins every day to see where everyone was. They also worked on personal projects and had a rough cut critique, which we were very fortunate to have Dolby support with. They had employees during their Dolby Cares Week come in, watch our students' projects, give some really valuable feedback, and really, gave the students an opportunity to hear from professionals. As it states in one of the bullets, we gave them an opportunity to connect with industry professionals. So not only having a chance to hear from those who are giving them feedback, but also those who are already working in the industry, giving them an opportunity to ask questions, to kind of like be inquisitive and curious about different pathways to get to a certain job in the media industry. So it's not always going to school, or it's not always, immediately having the first big job of your life, but it's really letting them know that, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take on these different opportunities to grow and really like thrive within an industry that they're passionate about. In addition to all of that support that we provide them, there's plenty of mentorship opportunities and access to the access to the tools they need. So we actually provided students with access to Adobe licenses for free, equipment so they could check out cameras. We also offered them laptops if they didn't have systems that might not support them using Premiere, and really made sure that our program was accessible. So we're meeting our students where they are, and really, the students will tell you soon enough that we were there for them through and through, and making sure that they had what they needed. Next slide. So this cohort of fellows was very special. They are diverse, resilient, talented, all the things. We've been in the midst of a pandemic. This is actually our third cohort that has been taught virtually. And I really just want to say that I'm so proud of you all. The way that you all have shown up for yourselves, for one another, and just to make sure that you are feeling like empowered throughout the experience. And I think that shows. We took lots and lots of selfies. As you can see, we always do some sort of picture where we can pull the object that's near us and really just be a little bit silly in a time when, there's a lot of seriousness going on. There's a lot of life circumstances and events that are happening that are most times out of our control. And so we wanted to hold space for all of them to show up as authentically as they could. And in turn, their projects really reveal what they've learned after these 14 weeks. Next slide. So, back one. So this was actually from yesterday from a rehearsal. Again, we love to take screenshots to document that this happened, and just to be able to reminisce and look back on all of the work that you've done and all of the support you had overall. So I'm really excited for everyone who's here to see the work that's been produced by our students. They are extremely talented. They're really ready to dive right into different projects moving forward. And just want to give a round of applause. So let's do a quick round of applause for all of our fellows, add in the chat, all that good stuff. We're really proud of you, and you've come so far. Like, I hope you all can look back on this experience and really just reflect very fondly upon what you all were able to achieve. So thank you all. Next slide. So Patty Leeper, she couldn't be with us today. She's actually on an airplane right now, but Patty is our really wonderful and amazing career counselor. And this is just a message she wrote to all of the fellows. She said, "Every time I work with Bridges fellows, I wonder how they'll be as great as the last cohort. You all did not disappoint. Your personal stories inspire me. Your thoughtfulness and wisdom are beyond your age. You are all beautiful rock stars. The work and collaborators in your future will be lucky to have your talent, smarts, and big hearts. With gratitude, Patty." So Patty has been with us for the past, I want to say it's been 4 or 5 cohorts now, and she's really been able to support so many young people to really pivot and take on their careers with full force and passion and heart. And so we're really honored that she could be a part of this experience. Yes, we stand Patty, and we look forward to how she can support. You all can still email her, message her, and give her some updates. I'm sure she would be so happy to hear from you all. Next slide. Awesome. So we're going to transition. We're almost to the presentation of the students, I promise. We're trying to keep it as short as possible. But we had some really wonderful and amazing instructors on our team this semester. We had Yasaman Ford, Lentoria Newton, Jamie DeWolf, and Gabrielle Blage. And up first to introduce themselves and what they taught is Yasaman.
Hello, everybody. My name is Yasaman Ford. I think, Ali, if you could go to the next little orange slide. Thank you. I taught part of the pre-production for the Bridges Fellowship. Next slide, please. Thanks. So the learning objectives for my portion of the class was for the fellows to focus on developing the texture of their film. And by texture, I mean the visual languages that define their projects and make them unique, as well as aesthetic choices that help to unify their projects and also aid their message. So like, oh, you're going to use these colors, but how does that help tell your story? Also to discover what creates tone for a film, and also picking and crafting tones for their specific film for the final project that you're watching today. And you can see on the right, these are two Jamboards, which are basically like virtual collaborative whiteboards from an activity that we did comparing like two very different movies and what like created tone in those scenes that we watched. And lastly, understanding the importance of sharing your personal narratives, how telling your own story from your perspective is already a form of activism. Next slide, please. Oops. And then, yeah, so the final project was a director's lookbook, and which encompassed a logline, summary, character descriptions, and tone guide. And it was basically a chance for the fellows to like put their brain onto a slideshow and share it with the rest of the class for like the first idea of their overall project. So it's been really cool being able to be seeing the lookbooks and how they have translated to these final films. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm really excited to celebrate the fellows today. My name's Lentoria Newton, and I had the opportunity to also teach pre-production. So we can go over to the next slide. Thank you, thank you. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of the highlights, but I think the bulk of what I was really interested in getting the fellows exposed to was different kinds of filmmaking. So whether that was nonfiction, fiction, experimental, documentary, but just seeing that there's a lot of different ways that you can tell a story and a lot of different angles that you can go about telling that story. And I also kind of had a focus on archival filmmaking because it's a personal love of mine. We also had a wonderful workshop with Morgan Morell, and that was lovely. We had a guest speaker who has used a lot of archival film in her films come and speak with the fellows about her process, which was amazing. And that all culminated in the students creating video diaries of their experiences during the pandemic. You can go over to the next slide. So you can see here that these are stills representing each student's video diary. And I think this was really special because it started to kind of allow students to get a feel for their personal style and their tone. And it was just an honor to help them on this part of their journey. So I'll turn it over to Jamie.
Hello, I'm Jamie DeWolf. I'm a filmmaker and do all the different kinds of things of films in different realms of films. So I was tasked with the amazing job on teaching production itself. So once you have a camera in your hands, what are all the nitty-gritties? And those are some of the various things that we went over. on, even if you don't have a camera yet, how to film on your phone, shot composition, how to expose properly, white balance, all of the nitty gritties and the nuts and bolts of cinematography. Go to the next slide. And they would look like things like this, things that would break your brain on any other day. And hopefully I tried to make it easier or make it make sense and teach in a way that I was not taught, so that these things can be retained and hopefully used to make your art. And go in the next slide. And I think that we covered exposure triangle, lenses, framing, camera movement, white balance, frame rates, how to transform that into your own style. And we also worked with Gabe as well to how to film for the edit and then assimilate that into Premiere. And I think it's always important for teachers to reflect on what was taught to them. And I think resilience, that a lot of these students are filming sometimes by themselves in a pandemic, learning virtually. They are doing films their entire selves from the start to finish, which is incredible, and it shows the power of one filmmaker, one storyteller. How community of watching them all bond and help and create with each other and give each other insight and really lift all of their projects collectively, and that their own personal stories have so much more of an impact than they even know, and that the future ain't ready. And I shall pass it to Gabriel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriel. I was tasked with teaching post-production. And you can go to the next slide, please. The idea behind the course is to teach them both theory and techniques, drawing from both classic and alternative editing techniques, and most importantly, to empower them with the tools and the knowledge that they need to bring their idea to fruition, both professionally and artistically. You can go to the next slide. I could go through all the crazy stuff that I went through in such little time, but I'm going to let their work speak for itself. We can go through a quick reel to have a sneak peek of what we're in for today. And before we do, let me add that I'm extremely proud, and that with this short time of learning, at least for myself, I wasn't able to do something like they did today with their project. So I'm proud, and y'all did a very good job coming from a 0 to none experience with video editing. So congratulations.
Great. So we have a 1-minute video queued up, and we'll play that in just a moment.
Solo quiero liberación por los más marginalizados, las comunidades afro.
About where I'm from and how I got to be here.
Life is short, and I just wanted to live some of it.
My squad, where are they?
All them?
Authorities investigate an active serial killer in Oakland and the East Bay area. This warning is especially
rose for our friendship.
Wow, I can't give you a nice gift.
But then how do I solve x squared plus?
She hopes that you may find peace in the water that carried you here.
He was born on June 26, 1984, and again on March.
Allowing me to feel beautiful, allowing me to call myself beautiful, allowing me to love my body.
Again, congratulations.
Excellent. I think you had your one last slide. So, Ali, if you want to cue the slide deck again, that would be great. Yes, so that was just a sneak peek into what you're going to see this evening.
Yeah, you can go to the next one. No problem.
One moment. Thank you all for your patience. We're just about ready to start our student presentations. Can everyone see the presentations and film slide? Yes, great. I just realized I was muted, so having grace with technology today. Excellent. So we're just going to go to the next. And Debbie, just let me know when you're ready. So our first fellow is Debbie, and we're really excited to kick things off.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Debbie Saefong and I'm a fourth year film major at UCR. I'm inspired to major in film because of the lack of Asian American representation in the entertainment industry. I applied to VAVC because I felt like I didn't have much experience in different aspects of film, but VAVC has helped me explore more of those aspects. Next slide, please. My experience with VAVC. I would say that this experience has been very encouraging because you get support not only from your mentors, but also from your peers. It also made me more fearless of not being so scared to share my ideas because I always feel like my ideas are not good enough. But when I did share them, I got positive feedback, so that made me feel better. Lastly, you're not alone. Everyone in this program is going through the same thing, creating a project, and there are so many people there to help you. Next slide. My project is called Homebody. It is about being a homebody, which is a person who likes to stay at home. I made this because I am a homebody, and it's okay to be a homebody. I hope you enjoy watching it. Thank you.
Good morning. Don't forget to walk and feed your dog today.
Yeah, I will.
Michelle, you wanna go on a walk? You wanna go outside? What? Let's go.
Lily, do you want to go?
No, I don't want to go anywhere. Can you close the door all the way?
I got too many thoughts and too many problems. 수면이 답인 듯해서 또 잠. 친구가 불러 난 아직 졸려. 말랐어 party and I call nobody. I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody. 잼난 건 집에서 내까진 쉬겠어. 요즘 그냥 숨 쉬며 조용히 지냈어. Living inside 나는 거의 뭐 식물인가. 뱃속 알람마치 시키는 밥 ring ring. 되는 chicken wing wings in my belly and my room stay smelly. 디저트는 곰 젤리. 내 답장. 성공은 반짝. 예전에 답장 남의 내가 밥사 바삐 움직이며 사는 삶 생각 안 하고 딱 하루만 Staying home today yeah. I'm staying home today I'm a homebody yeah I'm a homebody yeah I meet nobody cause I'm a homebody yeah I'm a homebody yeah I meet nobody
Hello?
Hey, how come you answer my call?
I was busy.
Busy doing what?
I was just doing a bunch of stuff around my room.
Oh, well, what are you doing now?
I'm playing a game right now.
Did you want to come out with us today?
I don't really feel like it today, but maybe next time.
But you said that last time.
But I really mean it this time.
Do you promise?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Bye.
What? You've literally been in here all day. What have you been doing?
Nothing.
You're such a homebody.
I'm a homebody, yeah. I'm a homebody, yeah. I meet nobody cause I'm a homebody, yeah. I'm a homebody, yeah. I meet nobody. I'm a home. I meet nobody, body, boom, boom, body.
Ooh! Round of applause for Debbie. Great job. Feel free to use the chat if you have any questions for Debbie, and we're gonna keep it rolling. That was amazing. All right, Debbie, here's your cue.
Up next is Sophie.
Thanks, Debbie. Okay, so yeah, my name is Sophie Garcia. I go by they, them, and 21 years old from San Francisco. I've just always been a creative in general, like with music, with like dance and other things. But as far as like film goes, the closest thing before BAVC that I had experience in was analog photography. So got to do a lot of stuff in the dark room. And yeah, I got into film because I was like, well, it's just an extension, it's just a leap from photography, right? Yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. This movie was like the first moving picture, I guess, that I took. As far as steps for the future, I've been studying astrology for 6 years, and so have recently been opening up my business. It's been going great. And with the support of a lot of like my astrological mentors, have been like pushed to kind of like take that further into like a YouTube channel that I'm gonna like drop like, I don't know, this weekend, maybe today, I don't know. I'm still editing my video, but yeah, super excited to be taking what I learned into my craft. And yeah, please follow me on TikTok. I do make astrology content there and on Instagram. And yeah, those are my ads down there. Okay, next slide, please. So BAVC has really helped me by empowering me as a filmmaker and as a person in general. I've also just like received access to opportunities and resources. And the most important part for me that I will take away from BAVC, however, is just like getting the chance to do that with like an amazingly talented group of peers and mentors. Yeah, definitely y'all are amazing. And I'm really happy to walk away with the connections that I've built and hope to keep in touch. Next slide. Okay, yeah, and so my film is called Otro Mundo es Posible, which means another world is possible. That's a very like popular slogan from the Zapatistas, who I will be explaining who they are if you don't know who they are. But yeah, so this film I made in 2019 in December when I and like a bunch of other queer creatives from the Bay went to the International Women's Gathering that they host. This is a reflexive documentary that really helped me process the experience as well as honoring my voice and my growth that came as a result of attending that. And so yeah, I hope you like it. And I don't have anything else to say other than, yeah, thank you.
Cada vez que intento contar esta historia, me niego. Considero las posibilidades, las circunstancias a las cuales se presenta esta oportunidad de contar un poco de mi experiencia en contexto de nuestra historia. Pienso, ¿y quiénes somos nosotras? ¿Cuáles identidades mías son más visibles? Gringa, no binaria, artista, indígena, anticapitalista. ¿Cuánto tiempo tenemos? Esto pasó en diciembre de 2019, justo antes de la pandemia, y hemos tenido chance de procesarla. I, along with a group of queer creatives, went to the second EZLN, Encuentro de Mujeres que Luchan, in December 2019. For those that don't know what the Zapatistas are, I need to introduce you to a man named Emiliano Zapata first. Emiliano Zapata was a Mexican revolutionary who fought during the Mexican Revolution. He organized farm workers and indigenous people to fight for land back. Men and women under his command were known as Zapatistas. My Nahua great-grandfather Simon was one of them, and because of it, my family got some of our native land back. In the 90s, drawing from their own indigenous wisdom and the teachings of Emiliano Zapata, Zapatismo was born as a political identity. The EZLN, or the Zapatista National Liberation Army, made up of primarily Tzeltal, Tzotzil, Chol, Tojolabal, and Mam people in the southernmost state of Mexico, Chiapas, have their own sustainable infrastructures, medical, education, and agrarian. They're very internationalist, believing that global solidarity is essential for movements. They declared war on the Mexican government and had reclaimed their land autonomously. Now it was time to invite us to grow the resistance against global capitalism. This gathering was created in response to the high femicide rates in Mexico. Approximately 10 women are killed a day, half at the hands of their partners. These events were entirely organized by the women. The camp, the kitchens, shops, bathrooms, stages, cabins, and enormous tents in which we would have workshops were all built by them. A friend told me when asking how they could support them, they responded, "We're here to plant a seed inside of you so you can grow it and create something like this in your home." The Zapatista women gave us platforms to denounce abusers on day 1, share strategies on day 2, and make art day 3. The intro speech in the beginning was really powerful, and I remember them listing off the 49 countries that were present with pride. The next day, we were surprised to know that attendees like ourselves could organize a workshop for others to attend. Me, Traviesa, and Kiki organized a small makeup stand for Zapatistas to get makeup done. Later, we attended what we thought was a prison abolitionist meeting, only to find out that transphobic and sex worker exclusionary radical feminists had wrongfully named themselves that and shut down all dissenting participants in the workshop, including me.
Mi propuesta empieza pues con reconocer y no confundir el tráfico humano y tráfico sexual con pues la prostitución y el trabajo sexual, porque eso es muy peligroso. Eso pues nos pone más en peligro, la verdad. Y pues nada, también propongo decriminalizar el trabajo sexual y al final de cuentas todas somos explotadas. Cualquier trabajo bajo este sistema patriarcal, este sistema capitalista, todas nuestras cuerpos están siendo explotadas. O sea, no importa si seas puta o no seas puta. Entonces, pues nada, ¿qué más decir? Y pues hay hombres también que son trabajadores sexuales, reconocer eso, decriminalizar.
¡Déjenlo hablar!
Pues nada,
That night, one of the few black attendees grabbed the main stage's mic and called for a meeting the next day. After I had spoken, a trans woman had also gotten yelled at by 50-plus rad femmes, ridiculed for her voice, and told this wasn't her space. I ended up reading the speech that was written collectively the next day.
Creemos que esta postura abolicionista pone en riesgo a las compañeras y favorece intereses patriarcales como el encarcelamiento de mujeres y transexuales, fomentando mayor violencia porque llevan trabajo clandestino e inseguro. Por eso nosotras apoyamos la vida y la integridad de todas, apoyando propuestas que han surgido como sindicatos, colectivas y redes de apoyo, movimientos feministas. Proponemos no hablar el nombre de otras compañeras. En este caso, si vamos a hacer una propuesta sobre trabajo sexual, las primeras que deberían ser invitadas y escuchadas son quienes ejercen el trabajo.
Aún pienso en los efectos que tuvo en mi cerebro, a existir en un espacio así, fuera de los hombres y el capitalismo. Aunque el residuo de la realidad opresiva fue pegajosa, nublando mi visión, vi tan claramente que crear un mundo se trata con los pasitos al diario. Cuando la gente me pregunta sobre mi identidad política, ni comunista ni feminista, solo quiero liberación por los más marginalizados, las comunidades afros, indígenas, transgéneros y trabajadores sexuales. Así que por lo menos sé qué contestar. Quiero un mundo donde quepan muchos mundos. Y sonrío porque sé que este otro mundo sí es posible.
Amazing. So powerful. Let's give it up. Give it up. Thank you, Sophie.
Thanks, y'all. Okay, so next up we have Emily.
Okay, is it working, Jay?
Yep, we're good. You can go to the next slide.
Hi, my name is Emily. I was born and raised in Vietnam, and I moved to the US in 2017, so it's been like 3 or 4 years now. Classical music was my thing growing up, and I did piano performance for 17 years. But now I am a filmmaker and photographer based in San Francisco. You can check out my work on my Instagram, which is right there on the screen. I like plants and animals, and my goal is when I get my first pet, I'm gonna name it Pizza, because I love pizza. On to the next slide. I think getting into the British program is a life-changing event for me, and I've learned a lot. For the sake of time, I want to highlight 3 lessons. The first one is how to express my idea, in a longer format, because before I've really done it in like a 30-second reels on Instagram, and I would love to shout out Lintoria, Yasaman, and Jamie for helping me build my ideas and learning how to make a real movie. The second big thing that I learned is how to use Premiere Pro, and this one goes out to Gabriel, because before Bridges, I have never touched Premiere. Like, I don't know how to use it. Not even one button. But I came out with this program, and I think I made a decent movie. So I'm very proud, and I'm very grateful for Gabriel for teaching me, and also for BAVC and everybody who involved to give me the resources and the tools that I need to learn it. My last lesson is the industry insights. I feel incredibly lucky to be able to learn from and listen to, the best people in the industry, the Adobe expert, also my instructors, all of whom I think are awesome and are so knowledgeable. I want to be you guys one day. So on to the next slide. A little bit about my film. So at the beginning of the fellowship, we were allowed the opportunity to really look into our past, and were encouraged to make this movie based on our own personal experience. And I'm very proud to say that I think I have made this movie based on that. So it has a lot of influence from classical music, which is like a huge chunk of my life, and also Zen philosophy, which I got a lot from my mom. So the Zen philosophy part inspired the name of the film, which is called A Flower Sermon. So in short, The Flower Sermon is a Zen story with a lot of layered meanings. But one of the meaning is to not let the delivery of the message take you away from the message. The finger pointing at the moon, which is what I would love for everybody to keep in mind when you watch this film, because it's kind of unusual. It's a collection of music and emotionscape, and the point is to inspire you to meditate and think about your life and your purposes and pursuit. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
Round of applause for Emily. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thank you for
So,
watching.
round of applause.
And supersonic quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to Yasune and Kevin who are here today. They are my actors, and without them, this film would never be the same. Next up, we have Sean.
Howdy, y'all. Can you hear me? If you can, then you can hear the fact that I am Sean Stranahan, and I am from the Bay Area, born and raised. I am originally from the East Bay in a small town called Hercules, and now I'm stuck in the North Bay in a barren place called Fairfield. So, yeah. I'm an SFSU student who's majoring in visual communication design, which is a fancy way of saying graphic designing, and I'm minoring in Asian American studies. And you may be wondering why Asian American studies. Well, I'm half Filipino, even though I don't look like it, and I'm also half Irish. I have 5 years of photography experience, but my first time ever filming was in 2019, which was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and my second time ever was right now in BAVC. Regarding the image to the right, I hate selfies. I don't have pictures of myself where I'm not masked or anything, so that's one of the few times I'm in front of the camera, and this is one of the other times I'm in front of the camera, so I guess it's, a first for everything, right? You can go to the next slide, Jay. Thank you. So this is a lot of words. I'm going to summarize it by saying thank you to all of our instructors, first off, to Yasaman and Lentoria for teaching us how to make our ideas come to life. You guys were amazing at making basically our dreams a reality to an extent. Jamie, you're an absolute legend for taking the time to struggle with technology and teach us about cameras through, your own webcam. So I don't know how you managed to do that, but you're you're absolutely resilient and amazing for that. And Gabriel, you basically spent, I think, 24 hours, like literal 24 hours, teaching us about post and every single question. So you deserve massive props for just helping us all out through that, because I don't know how you had the patience for that. Also to all of our, well, I guess you could say, fellows for being so creative and showing me that there's other, young creators out there who have these ideas, these dreams, these visions, and making them come to life, because I always felt like I was alone in that, especially as, I guess, a white Asian American, as wrong as that sounds, but you guys really inspired me to step out of my own comfort zone and to make my own dreams a reality. With that being said, my film is entitled The Color of Music, and what the hell does that even mean? I don't even know either. I thought it sounded good, that's why. But basically, what the story is about is a young man who is myself, who struggles to create his forms of art, and for me, that would be photography. In order to gain any form of inspiration, I rely on music. And for a lot of people who are artistic or creative, we tend to rely on other forms of art to give us inspiration more often than not. So for me, like I said, music is my key. And without good music, without a certain type of song, I can't create anything. So the film follows me and my own journey and reflecting on my own past as a photographer through film in order to create my own arts. And in doing so, I combine film and my photography work from the past 5 years to show you guys what I've made. With that being said, I'm going to leave it with this. Remember how I said I've been doing photography for 5 years? I've never shared any of my work. So this is me finally sharing that work with all of you. Hope you enjoy.
Losing time, still in the same bar where you said goodbye. Yeah, if I could, I would have pressed rewind. But you and I, it just weren't right. And so I built these walls, 'cause after losing, I was scared to fall. But I will climb them even though they're tall. Been here before. When you gave all your love, but it wasn't enough. When you swear this time you're giving up, you still gotta try. You know you gotta try. When you gave all you got like a million times, we heard the hell and hello and the good and goodbye. You gotta try. You know you gotta try. We gon' try. We gon' try.
job, Sean.
Thank you for the kind words, everybody. And with that, it is time for another amazing film by Miss Lottie.
Thank you, Sean. Great work. Yeah, so I'm next. Hi, everyone. My name is Lottie Pacheco, pronounced they, she. I'm a third-year film student at San Francisco State University. And the film I made through this fellowship is called Gustavo's World, which is a documentary about my brother. But I just want to take a moment here and now to thank BAVC, who made this possible, all of the mentors and the staff who were by my side. Even when I was a little gray square and I didn't really want to be in video, you guys were there and stuck by me. And without you guys, I wouldn't be able to have healed through my own arts. And you guys provided me with a platform to do that and to liberate myself a little bit from the trauma and turn it into something that I'm really, really proud about. So thank you to BAVC and my peers for the encouragement and support. I plugged my Instagram if you guys want to keep in touch. It's right there, and collaborate. But yeah, next slide. So Gustavo's World is like I said, it's a reflexive documentary about my brother, and it's my family recounting their individual experiences surrounding the unconventional loss of my eldest brother, which is Gustavo, who suffered a traumatic brain injury from a gunshot wound in 2015. So it's just a bunch of archival footage of him with like interview footage, and I don't know, it's something very personal to me. It's like 5 years in the making, but like I said, without BAVC, I finally got the courage to just go on and do it. So I hope you guys enjoy, and this is for my brother. Thank you. I'm gonna be off video because I don't like seeing my own work, but enjoy. My brother has two birthdays. He was born on June 26th, 1984, and again on March 15th, 2015.
Muchas características que mi hermano tiene, pero la más importante es que es una persona caring.
Se iba a trabajar, me veía descobijada y me cobijaba. Y me decía, ¿necesitas algo? Así, ¿qué tienes? ¿Te duele algo?
Not too many brothers that come around, that are like him.
Esta esclava es muy especial para mí, porque mi hijo me la regaló con mucho amor y siempre la traigo conmigo, porque así me siento muy conectada con él. Yo siempre estoy conectada con él, pero con esto yo me conecto más con él.
He's a good person. He's a good friend. He's a good dad. He's a good brother. A good son. Good grandkid. He's just like good all around. He cares a lot about other people. Sometimes he would put other people first than himself.
It was March 15th of 2015.
Yo lo escuché cuando llegó. Llegó en la mañana y dijo, en la madrugada, y dijo, ya llegué. Y cuando yo lo escuché que dijo que ya llegó, me quedé dormida. Yo no sabía que se había ido otra vez.
Entonces yo le hice una llamada y él no me contestó. No pasó mucho tiempo cuando me llamaron del hospital.
Oscar, my other brother, he came and knocked on the door. He told me Tavo is in the hospital. She's like, okay, he's in the hospital. And I'm like, he's been at the hospital. But then he nodded his head and then he said, he's not doing good.
They had found a bullet in his brain, and some of us, or a couple of us, needed to go and identify and confirm that it was him.
Adentro de mí yo quería como que no fuera él, y por eso que lo buscaba en su cara y pues no lo veía. Tiene una cicatriz en su mano que yo conozco bien, entonces cuando yo miré su mano y vi la cicatriz, o cuando me di cuenta que desafortunadamente sí era mi hermano. Doctor, he just said, the person that you guys know as your brother is not here. He's not here anymore.
Ellos querían desconectarlo. Yo les dije, no quiero eso.
She was just like,
No, you're not God. If my son's still breathing and his heart is beating on his own, then I'm gonna leave it to God. And one day we just came to the hospital to visit him, and he was awake.
Dijo, ya despertaste, bienvenido al mundo, bienvenido a la vida, le dije.
Si él volvió a nacer, como si nació por segunda vez.
Right now, he's able to breathe, eat, talk on his own, which is something that the doctor said he would never be able to do.
It's a long road, but we're gonna do our best to accomplish, what we agreed to do, and that's to bring him back 100% back to his old self.
Sigo pensando que es la misma persona, que él está ahí y que un día todo va a volver a ser como antes.
And one would think this is where the story ends. This is where the curtains close and I come out to you, the audience, with my brother. And he's okay. And my family's okay. And I wish I could tell you that. But he's still in the hospital. His life will never remain the same. The scars from that day will remain permanent throughout the rest of his life. And it has etched individual scars on each one of us around him in his world. No happy ending, just him, just us, forever living in uncertainty.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you for all your comments. And with that, I turn it to another talented individual, all talented individuals, but Essence, you're up.
Perfect timing. I'm over here crying. Oh my God, that was so powerful. You're so resilient, and I just want to give you a virtual hug.
I'm excited.
Okay. There's a missing piece, I guess. All right, but my name is Essence. Okay. If my eyelashes come off, please let me know. Don't be fake, because Lottie just. Okay. Anyways, that's not important. My name is Candy. I was born in Mexico City, and the city of San Francisco adopted me when I was around 9. I'm a fashion designer. I've been acting for 3 years. I used to play around with video, but not really, and I just wanted to be on the other side of the camera this time. So I gave it a shot. This opportunity came up, and I was like, why not? Usually a muralist, an activist. I would consider myself an artivist. For those who don't know, artist and activist mixed together. But I always say that, whether it's photography, whether it's anything that I do, my every single move I make, it's a little puzzle for every story that needs to be heard, seen, and felt by those who are willing to see deeper than the surface. And personally, I've encountered so many people that are very superficial and that have hurt me and my soul very deeply. So just want to say that.
Next slide. Oh, that's the one I was looking for. Okay, awesome. The name of my film is called Healsome. It's an experimental poetry film about the loss of a love. It is based on a true story. My best friend and I went to pick up her best friend, Rose was her name, and we came back after a week and she passed away. She got ran over, unfortunately, but I do believe that Rose served her purpose and we were able to be with each other to help us heal. My Bayback experience. I couldn't be more grateful. I'm trying to move this. Okay, sorry. I couldn't be more grateful towards the universe and Bayback and all the angel creatives, everybody that I met during this fellowship. You guys are so genuine, so caring, and just full of light, and that's why I live for, you know. Shout out to everybody, all the Bayback staff for having so much patience and understanding. I was going through some rough patches in my life, but I was able to come through thanks to you guys. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, that's her, little Rosiki in the little picture. With that being said, please enjoy. If you have any questions, I'm welcome to answer.
Your bed smells like you. I've been crying for over 7 hours, baby girl. What is life without you? Today shows life's not fair. I look around and my best friend is no longer there. I had so much more love to give you. I was barely getting to know who you were. I already miss your loud snorts and special little purr. I had so much more love to give you. I love to hate on your stinky little farts, but now all I can think is they are your form of art. I had so much more love to give you. I want to feel your weight on my lap while we go from here to there, all over the map. I had so much more love to give you. I love to cook your food all fresh. There's no way I'd ever stop being your personal chef. I had so much more love to give you.
What happened?
You know, I've been surrounded by a lot of death lately too, and something death really makes me think about life.
I totally agree.
To life, and to remember, and to be.
I loved our day on the beach in the sunshine. You are in my heart forever. You'll always be mine. I had so much more love to give you. I cannot believe how much joy you brought to my life. I can only hope I did the same for you in your life. I had so much more love to give you. I love the way you would smile. I love the way you walked with such grace and style. I had so much more love to give you. cannot believe how fast you stole my heart. Some of it's gone with you. It is torn apart. I had so much more love to give you. I still have so much more love to give you.
Great job. Oh, yeah. So much more love to give. I think we all have so much more love to give in all avenues of our lives. So thank you so much for sharing that piece. Up next, we have Linh Chi.
Thanks. That was a beautiful film from Essence. I too am crying, so this is embarrassing. I just got a pet recently, so I feel. Um, but I will collect myself. So my name is Linh Chi Tran. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a San Francisco native, born and raised, and I'm a not so recent college grad. So I graduated in December 2019 at the height of the pandemic, and I kind of had no idea what I was doing. And then I was talking to my friend Layla, who's actually here in the audience today, and she and I talked about how I used to do like producing work on shows and then technical theater. And so she was like, I did this thing called Bridges Fellowship, and you should totally do it. And then I looked into it, and I was like, oh, video production, I could do that. I'm kind of here for it. And so can I see next slide, please? And so now I want to talk about my BAVC experience. And let me tell you, I could not do that. I mean, I did that, but it was very hard. It was super humbling. There's, as everyone's already talked about, there's so much to learn from pre-production to production to post-production, and then everything outside of that as well, like just putting it all together. And so it was a really amazing experience. I want to thank all of the instructors for being so supportive. They were not just instructors, they were mentors that I'll keep with for the rest of my life, I feel like, but they always placed our well-being above our performance and deliverables, and they always encouraged us even when we felt like we weren't doing our best. And so I think a really big life lesson that I've taken from BAVC is just that anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. So as a perfectionist, I really struggled with making my film because I really struggle with getting out of my head and doing something. But in the words of the instructors, done is better than perfect. And so, can I get next slide? And so moving on to my done but not perfect film, I will be introducing my film Interview, which is about a recent college graduate who does a mock interview with herself and kind of realizes that being unemployed is a full-time job. And so, yeah, as I mentioned, I graduated at the height of the pandemic, so it was really rough looking for work. And so I just wanted to capture how I felt during that time and kind of share it with the world. And so I hope you all enjoy.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Cam. Oh, hey, nice to meet you too. So, tell me about yourself. Oh, sorry. I'm a recent college graduate and I studied biology in school thinking that I would be a doctor, which I know isn't typical of someone in the operations field, But the coursework was really rigorous, and I spent a lot of time in my bullet journal planning out what I would do. After a while, I started to realize that crossing something off my to-do list made me way happier than a medical degree ever could, and so I took that as a sign that maybe I shouldn't be a doctor, and pivoted into this field, and here I am. Wow, that's great. I'm glad to hear that you switched out of something you didn't like. That's a quality we look for in our associates. We want people who know what they want and how to get it. So, let's get into some scenario questions. Tell me about a time you've experienced negative feedback in your life and how you handled it. Oh, as someone who has been looking for work for the past year,
Wait.
Are you reading off a document? Yes. Interviews make me really anxious, so I like to come prepared. Does that affect how I'm doing? Yes, it does. Oh, it makes me like you even more. I love when someone comes prepared for an unknown situation. It shows me just how much thought you've put into this. Well, that's good to hear. I actually have a 10-page document. I love that. Because even though some of your answers may have been planned, this conversation flow has been really great, and I could really see you on our team. So, I just have one more question. I see that on your resume you have a year-long gap. Can you tell me about that? I had a job lined up, actually, and it fell through as I was graduating, which really sucked, but I spent the last year looking for work, and I've also picked up some hobbies. I started cooking just to add a little spice in my life. I've also been crocheting, which I know makes me sound like a grandma, but it's really nice to be able to create something and then wear it. And then I actually took up some video production. I've been making kind of embarrassingly bad vlogs, but I find that there's a lot of good things that I want to remember about my life, and that video is a great way to capture those memories. Well, that's cool. Do you have anything to show for this? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you clarify the question a bit? I just thought with all this rage around side hustles that when you were telling me about these hobbies that you would have done something a little more, I don't know, productive with them. I tried starting an Instagram kitchen or an Etsy shop or a YouTube channel, but it all felt meaningless. Like I was forcing myself to do something I loved to make money, and that it was not valuable otherwise. Well, that's kind of disappointing to hear. I really just wanted these to be about me. Life is short, and I just wanted to live some of it. Yeah, I understand, but you're telling me that you had a year and you spent it doing leisure activities instead of getting a job? Well, yes and no. I spent the last year looking for a job. I just couldn't find one. I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to hire someone like this. Excuse me? I have spent every waking moment thinking about the job hunt, okay? I've applied to over 400 jobs and been rejected from every single one of them. I spend so much time editing my resume and writing cover letters where I ask and honestly beg for companies to hire me, and they won't. Well, I wake up in the middle of the night stressed that I've missed an application deadline, or I'll have a nightmare that the company has called the police on me because I followed up with them too many times. And I'm so tired. I can't even take a break because I'm still thinking about how I can do more. You really need to ask yourself then. If you're trying so hard, why haven't you gotten a job? I don't know. I eat, sleep, and breathe the grind. I couldn't stop if I tried. I can't enjoy a single thing because the looming thought that a company will always think that I haven't done enough, or I'm not trying enough, or that I'll never be enough. Hi. You must be Morgan. Nice to meet you. I'm Cam, and I'm applying for the Operations Associate position.
Thank you all for your kind words. I feel very loved. And I would like to introduce up next someone that I also think deserves to feel very loved. Actually, everyone here does, but Alysha and her film.
Hello, everyone. As you can see here by the bold red text, my name is Alysha. Some things about me are I'm a senior at Portia Learning Center, which is a high school in South Central. I'm actually not from the Bay Area, so I'm sorry to all of you. And some facts about me is that I consider myself to be very creative. I like to draw and make art, whether it be traditional or digital art. And that's something I want to pursue in my future, more specifically like animation and making cartoon stuff. And on that note, I'm a huge Hercules fan. That's the best Disney film, and I will fight you on that. It's a certified fact, but I mean, to each their own, I suppose. So, next slide. So my experience with BAVC, I'd like to put it into two categories. Firstly, being super informational. I've been a part of other filmmaking groups throughout my time, I guess in high school and whatnot. But with BAVC, I feel like it's more on a personal connection just to your peers and teachers, on the sense that they really want to see you succeed in all categories and have you like learn all the skills that like are in the fundamentals of storytelling and just filmmaking in general. I learned a lot of stuff that'll benefit me not only now but in the future with my story making journey. And just also the amazing people that I got to meet here through my peers that helped me with the making of my film, because like my ideas were bigger than life that I needed to kind of concise a little bit, and just my peers and teachers who supported me along the way and answered any questions that I had revolving the process. So next slide, please. So as for my film, Undecided, I made this film because throughout quarantine, I feel like the subject of student mental health has been a big one, especially with being online and away from our peers and the physical aspects of the classroom. And for me, I struggled a lot with my mental health and just kind of my timing and management with kind of balance arts and schooling with all like the heavy deadlines and multi-step assignments. So I made this film about a person who's a creative like me and wants to pursue his passions, but has to kind of choose between his academics and his personal interests. So.
What do I have to do with today?
You're awake already, dude? So the universe couldn't let you sleep for like 30 more minutes, huh? You just had to wake up today? At this time? Dude, it's 6:30! Fuck! God damn it, dude. So there was really this guy named God, right? And he was like, oh, I'm gonna make the sun wake up at 7:30, and at 7 p.m. I'm gonna make the moon come out. Oh my God, dude. And now every day at 6:30 in the morning we have to wake up to go to fucking school. It's so annoying. Alright, let's go shoot, man. It's about to be a good day today. Nothing's gonna go wrong. New assignment? Euclid and Pythagoras, you cursed the entire nation and society. Putting numbers and letters together? I mean, seriously, dude? That's all you could come up with? Numbers by itself wasn't good enough, so you had to put letters in the mix too. But then how do I solve x squared plus... Oh, I finished, my boy. Damn, dude, I'm gonna be late to this thing. I gotta Floyd's on my phone. It's too much, dude. Schoology again, dude. Dude, there's another assignment. Damn, dude, it took the founding fathers maximum 2 minutes to finalize and finish the Declaration of Independence, right? But it's taking me 2 hours to write a 4-page paper. Damn, dude. Come on, man. It's too much at this point. Schoology again, dude. Dude, I don't get it. I don't understand. I really don't. Dude, it's just interrupting my plan. It's so annoying. I wasn't even supposed to have homework today. I wish schools cared more about their students than their assignments.
We care about our students more than the assignments, but we will still try to get you to do your assignment.
That is definitely true. And on that note, I'd like to pass it off to Assada.
Hello? Oh, okay, there I am. Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I was just having trouble with BlueJeans really. But, yeah, hello, I'm Assada Kweli. From a young age, all I wanted to do was create. My aim is to share my stories and bring people enjoyment through this journey of life. And you know, I just wanted to take time to say thank you to BAVC for, you know, giving us this chance to all share our love for film. I feel like, you know, that's what it's all about. It's sharing love. Anyway, you can go to the next slide. What I learned in BAVC is we had that networking. We had a lot of classes about that. And being resourceful, which is definitely a theme because, I mean, I think back to like my first day doing the interview over the phone and like my idea for the movie is so different. Like I wanted to like highlight these sort of local like DJs and artists around the Bay that I was kind of getting to know, and then I don't know, they were just kind of like really COVID unsafe, so I didn't really want to like work with them that much, and then I had to deal with like moving and just like working with that, and it was just, you know, I had to be resourceful through all of that. You know, the third thing is that working hard and having fun, you know, they don't have to be different because obviously we all, you know, put all of our hours in on the Zoom and in the editing room and all of that, and but you know, at the end of the day, the rewards make it all enjoyable. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. So yeah, my film is called Grammy, and it's about Grammy, my grandmother, Bridget, who's from, she was born in Austria after World War II, and it was really, it was tough back then, and then going to America and having to adapt was also, very hard. And yesterday I was talking about how I was gonna, post more updates about this project. And I was just gonna ask everybody to, if they're comfortable, drop their Instagram into the chat, and we could maybe all screenshot each other's Instagrams. So we just take a second to do that if you're going to, or no, we can move on to the movie, and everyone can do it during. So yeah, you can get to the screening now. So where are you from?
I'm from Austria, and now I'm living out here at the Washougal River, and my grandson is visiting me out at the river. And he wanted me to tell a little bit about where I'm from and how I got to be here. So I was born in Austria, and I came with my whole family, with my mother and father and my brother, to America when I was 10 years old. Living was pretty hard in Austria after the war, because Germany and Austria lost, so economically it was pretty depressed. And one of Assada's favorite stories is when my mother was born. She was born prematurely, of course at home, because people were just born at home back then. And she was so small that they put her with a whole bunch of cotton blankets and stuff in a shoebox, and they kept her in the oven with the oven door open, but they kept her in the oven at a really low temperature to keep her warm, because they didn't have incubators in the home. So, and that, I guess, was an interesting story to him.
How did you end up in California?
Well, first we went to Milwaukee, where my grandmother was already in America, and so we stayed with her. And then my Aunt Heidi, my mother's sister, she had moved out to Los Angeles because she married a German guy and he wanted to be a movie star, so they moved to Hollywood. She was actually a Playboy foldout in 1963. So she's still pretty famous. She still gets fan mail, and she's now 80 years old, so that's pretty interesting.
Going back to World War II, what were your parents doing during that?
Well, in World War II, which was before I was born in 1949, my dad was a German soldier. He wasn't a Nazi, he was just a soldier. I mean, there was sort of the infantry people who got sent off to the battlefields and stuff. He was a soldier, and when his whole battalion was getting shipped to the Russian front, he got ill. He got yellow fever, and so he was in the hospital. And one of the army doctors found out that my dad knew how to type, and that he knew stenography, and he had office skills. So when my dad got better, this army doctor commandeered him to be his secretary, kind of, to do his correspondence and do his typing for him. So he kept my dad back when the rest of his troop was all at the Eastern Front in Russia, and none of his troop ever returned, so that kind of saved his life. And then he met my mother, who was from Vienna, but she was sent up. All the young people, you know, in the German, with the German army and stuff, all the young people had to serve, even the women. And she met my dad there, and then he came down to Vienna, and they got married, and then the war ended. And my dad was in a prisoner of war camp in Italy for a couple of years after the war ended, and then he got sent back to his family. So those were interesting days, and people had to. And she
Sorry,
met
BlueJeans
my
is
dad
being
there,
weird.
and then he came down to Vienna, and they got married, and then the war ended. And my dad was in a prisoner of war camp in Italy for a couple of years after the war ended, and then he got sent back to his family. So those were interesting days, and people had to, you know, rebuild. I mean, so much of Germany and Austria got completely bombed, and I remember when I went to school in the first grade, I would walk to school, and there was an area on my way to school that was completely fenced in, and it was a big pit filled with water. Well, it was a bomb pit. It was a pit that had been bombed, and a lot of these pits still had active bombs in them and stuff, so they fenced them off, and not until later did they disarm whatever there was left and fill in the holes and stuff. So the signs of war were still there, and but we were happy to survive.
All right, my final question is, moving forward, what is one piece of advice you want to give to young people?
The whole universe is within you, and you are powerful and unstoppable. And your mission in life is to become a better version of yourself day by day. And to do that, you need to question and find solutions to your own problems, and trust your own guidance system inside of you. Trust your heart, trust your gut, and trust what you need to know to find the best solutions for yourself and for the world. You got this. Go for it, kids.
Good job, Assada.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I think this program was kind of glitchy, but it was still, we made it through. But, yeah, thanks everybody. Next up is Kelly.
All right. Hello. Wow, okay. All right. My name is Kelly. If you don't know me, I'm a freshman at SF State. I'm double majoring in cinema and broadcasting, both video production stuff. Fun fact about me, I really like the arcade, as you can see. All right, next slide. So a bit on my got BAVC. Okay, my experience at BAVC, I say it's very unique from the other programs I've been in. not only do you get, very knowledgeable people, mentor who help you from like pre-production to post-production, but there's a big support system, which I didn't get in the other program. The members, fellows are amazing, and so is the mentor, and I feel that BAVC really value giving a space that's supportive and safe for people to ask questions and express themselves. And honestly, I wouldn't make this if it wasn't for them. I have like 3 mental breakdown, and they helped me through. I might have a 4th one right now, but they honestly are amazing, and thank you so much. Next slide. Only 3, yeah. Thankfully. Next. All right. So, sorry, Rose. Another fun fact about me, I'm kind of gay. It ties into the film. It's a short film about a girl who was rejected by her crush, which is my whole high school experience, gotta be honest with you. My intention is to create representation. I don't know about you, but I watch every single indie queer Asian film that I could manage to find, and every single one of them, the girl get rejected, and then her life just ends there. Like, she just die, and then the movie ends. And that's pretty sad, I think. So I want to give a message that, your life go on after you get rejected, because I got rejected many times. And that one, if the person is homophobic, you don't need them, you deserve better. That 2, that you have friends and family that will support you. If not, I will support you. And then 3, you don't need a person to have a happy ending. And so it's pretty amateurish. I cringe when I watch it, but I hope that when you watch it, you see the amount of effort and intent I put into it. Trigger warning, there will be a small amount of blood, and homophobia and explicit language. Thank you. Enjoy.
Hey, Carla.
Oh, hey! It's only been 5 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days since you talked to me. Do you need something?
Dude, it's only been a month. Stop exaggerating. And I just want to talk to you.
Oh, did you miss me?
Fuck off.
Wow, rude.
I call you because I got a rose from you.
Yeah? Well, do you know why I gave it to you?
No, why would I be calling you then?
Wow, you don't even remember. It's our 3-year anniversary, love.
Of what?
Of our friendship. Do you like it?
A rose for our friendship?
Wow, I can't give you a nice gift.
Usually it's a romantic thing?
Well, it doesn't have to be. You've just been a very nice friend. I just wanted to show you that I appreciate you a lot. I miss you.
You miss me?
Yep, I miss bothering you and fucking your days up.
You don't bother me.
And yet, you don't even want to hang out with me when we're on campus.
I had midterms and finals, Carla.
Is that really the reason? We used to hang out almost every day back in high school.
Fine, if you insist, I'll hang out with you more. Happy?
So you do like me after all?
Yeah.
You finally admit it.
Can I tell you something?
Go for it.
I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Carla, you know what I meant.
That you're a lesbian? You're being fucking serious? So you lied to me. There's no way. Oh, fuck. fuck? Please tell me you're kidding. You can't do this to me. Tell me you don't like me.
I'm not kidding.
Well, why didn't you tell me? All these times we spent together, how many times have you slept over at my place? How many times have we changed in front of each other? For God's sakes, you've seen me naked.
Okay, what are you trying to say?
You thought about it, haven't you?
What?
You thought about being with me.
That's not true.
You thought about fucking me.
No.
You thought about it.
Don't do this to me.
Amy, be honest. You lied to me. What a degenerate.
Then why did you literally mail me a fucking rose?
Look, if I knew you were a lesbian, I wouldn't have given it to you.
Seriously?
I know I sound like an asshole, but think about how I feel.
How you feel?
Let's stop being friends, Amy.
Fine. Whatever. If that's what you want, I won't stop you. Not even a goodbye.
Hey girl, what's up?
I told her.
Yeah, and how was that?
Shitty.
Oh shit. I'm so sorry.
You know, Grace, I really regret it. I didn't know it would turn out like this. Maybe I didn't tell her. We would still been friends.
Can I be honest with you?
Sure.
It was never meant to be. Move on. Seriously, I don't know what happened, but I bet she was being a piece of ass to you, wasn't she?
Okay. Maybe she is a piece of shit. But like, she got me a rose though. That was kind of sweet.
You can go buy your own rose, Amy. You gotta let it go. She's not worth your time. She seems quite homophobic. And she has big daddy issues.
This is like the worst day ever.
If you want, I can come visit you.
At 9 p.m.?
Yeah, of course. I'll visit you, dude. You just gotta feed me food.
You only want me for my food, huh?
Yeah, you know me.
Fine. I'll get you something.
Thanks, you're the best.
Okay. Cool. I'll see you then.
See ya.
Great job, Kelly. Well done, well done.
Hey, I'm here, bitch.
Perfect ending.